Welcome to the CP Media platform, brought to you by Team CP, your endurance coaching specialists. We are back. It's Wednesday night. I'm Angus Petrie with our number one host, host with the most, team captain, head honcho. Man, you've got a list of names, Richard Greer.
And I made the most of them myself, didn't I? You wrote them in your show notes. You have to talk to me about that exactly that way. So, no, good job. Good to be back again. Another big show. Hey, it's pretty exciting to be able to share with all these awesome people that we're getting on the podcast, eh?
I think, Rich, that must be your connections you're doing, is it? The way you, the circles you roll in the, with the athletes of the world?
I'm not sure if I can claim too much of that, but yeah, it's awesome to be able to share, isn't it?
Yeah. So tell us about it then. What have you got? What have you found us for tonight?
So Cam Brown is going to join us for tonight. Cam's the guy that you watched on TV as you're growing up, just about, wasn't it? Sportsman of the Year, 12 times Ironman, New Zealand Ironman champion. He's podium 4 times in Kona, 2 seconds, 2 bronze medals. And that running technique, for those people that are watching this, is just synonymous with Cameron Brown. Just lock it in and look out if you're in front of me, because I'm going to hunt you down. And
we might ask him about this one. This is obviously a bit of a throwback Wednesday, wind it back Wednesday photo, this one. So look forward to hearing about that one.
Yeah, totally. So for those people that are listening, that photo was one that he was taking when he was 16, mixing it up at the front end of a triathlon versus what he was doing now. So a bit of a now and then type photo. So yeah, it'll be interesting to share that with him as well. So we're going to talk to Cam shortly. We're going to talk to Cushla Holdaway, talk a bit of nutrition, share some good stuff that she's got. It's always interesting talking to her in terms of what she's dealing with in terms of clients and things that she's working with. And also going to talk to Amanda Robertson. Amanda has got a whole bunch of things lined up. She's got coast to coast. She's running ultras. She's doing all sorts of things. So that's going to be really cool to check in with her as well.
And exciting as always, Rich. We've got a few sponsors' products to give away tonight.
Yeah.
So here's what to do. There'll be a few options, but I'm going to give an option to win a prize to start with. If you've got a question, let us know. Write it in the comments on however you're watching this on Facebook. If I pick your question or comment and put it up on the screen, you, my friend, are a winner.
Exactly. And you can't say anything about great moustache, Angus, or anything like that. That doesn't count as part of your comments or questions.
No, I mean, that's just a given, isn't it? That would just open the world up for everybody.
Exactly, because you're the man that's pushing the buttons, the man that's doing the hard yards in the back end. I'm just trying to look good over here.
And you do that well, Rich. Do that well. Right, moving along, Rich. Shall we roll this tape?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cam Brown has joined us, so let's welcome Cam in. Welcome, Cam.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good, Cam. How are you getting on today?
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, first sort of, just had a light day, just having a bit of time off at the moment. So just had a little swim and run. So trying to get the body not injured. So every time I have too much time off, I'll get injured. So just ticking over.
Nice. Excellent. So where are you at in terms of the whole COVID situation and everything going on with you at the moment in terms of your race schedule, race season? What have you got kind of lined up and how's that affected you?
I probably cracked probably a couple of weeks ago and just races being continually cancelled. So just decided to have a break, a mid-year break. Otherwise, just can't keep going as I was, and so just trying to have a break now, and then prepare for our summer season because nothing's going to be happening in the short-term future overseas. Races just keep you canned every week, so I'll just look forward to our Kiwi summer.
So will we see the best summer you think we've seen for a while here locally?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope people just get behind those local events and really support them and sort of do what we did in the old days, which is sort of race nearly every weekend. Back in the day, there were so many races you could choose from, and it was pretty cool to go to different parts of New Zealand. And we haven't got the same sort of amount of races nowadays, but I think there still are a lot of great races out there. So whether it be just not doing triathlon, but swim races, bike races, and running events.
Yeah, that is quite exciting in a whole, isn't it? That with a bit of luck, we're going to have lots more local events. Our local events are going to be supported more, and we're going to have some real draw cards like yourself turning up to the start lines of these things. That's pretty exciting, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think hopefully, a lot of those top guys. Well, it'll be the first time, and since I was probably a 17-year-old that I haven't been able to go overseas and race. So, there's no excuses for people not to race this summer. That's for sure. So, hopefully, everyone's saving their dollars to support those local events.
Nice work, Cam. So where would you normally be at this time of the year? So you've taken a bit of a break, so then you can freshen up to have a good summer ahead. Where would you normally be around the world and sort of in your training block?
We just arrived back from Hawaii a couple of days ago. We had a trip up there planned. So, but normally, I would have done Ironman Cairns Asia Pacific Champs in the earlier times. Up to Ironman Europe, raced at Frankfurt or Roth. But yeah, probably would have been building to the next Ironman, and I was planning on doing Ironman Penticton in Canada. That was the next race planned. So none of those events have been able to happen. So but I would have been travelling where it's nice and warm and sunny and not in this crap that we're actually getting at the moment. So it's pretty harsh conditions out there today, especially I think it was blowing about 100 k's out there today, so not very pretty.
Yep, absolutely. So I think what we might do is just wind the clock back a bit and kick off with a bit of a Cameron Brown background for a start. So how did you get into the sport back in the day? When was that? And how long have you been training and racing at that top level for?
Yeah, so when I was a 14-year-old, so 1987 was my first year. So quite a long time ago now. But went to Pakrane College. They had a great sort of triathlon team, and a lady there, Patsy Lambert, really got in behind us and supported as well. And then sort of went through sprint distance, Olympic distance. We could race every weekend back then, and there were swim run events on midweek, so you would do those as well, and then race on the Saturday or Sunday. And then moved into sort of half Ironmans when I was 21, and then finally Ironmans around about, I think 1997 was my first one in Auckland, which was went one more year. 1998 was the last final year in Auckland before it shifted to Taupo.
Right, and in terms of all the races and things that you've done and you've built that training base over time, what is your favourite event of all the different events you've gone to?
Probably one of my favourites was probably the Whangamata triathlon, which was held every in January every year. It was just a bit of an odd distance race. It was a 1K swim, 30K bike ride, and a 7K run, but it involved a surf swim and quite a hilly bike ride, and then a cool run around the streets of Whangamata. So got huge crowds and great support down there, and it was just one of those unique sort of surf race. There was Waihi surf breaker, and then there was the Mount Maunganui surf breaker. So there was a whole mixture of sort of these races along the eastern coast that had featured awesome swims, with a bit of surf involved. So and they were all supported by the surf lifesaving clubs as well. So they got a lot of fundraising out of those events as well. So it was great for them too. And one of those events is, still happening. The Mount Maunganui Surf Breakers. I think it's been going sort of for 35 years as well. So that's I've done it many, many times, probably maybe up to 20 times over my time. So it's one of those unique races that hopefully I'll get to do over the summer again.
Perfect. That's awesome. And in terms of like we've put it out there this week in terms of coming to talk to you, and basically the key question that keeps coming back is, how do you keep doing it, Cam? How do you keep mentally being engaged and striving, and then also physically keep your body in one piece? Share us some secrets. Angus and I are a couple of old guys trying to hold ourselves together and trying to keep doing a few things.
Yeah, I think it's probably having a goal, and that's been one thing that's been super hard during COVID is, my racing is majorly my goals. So, it'll be either short term or long term, whether it be 3 months down the track or 6 months down the track. I pretty much had 3 peaks throughout every year, which was always, New Zealand Ironman in March, the European Ironman Championships in July, and then Kona, the Hawaii Ironman World Championships in October. So I was always busy, and there was always a goal, whether it was 3 months down the track or a year away. So been very, very, very hard in the last, 3 months trying to, there'd be a race that I'd be looking at trying to train for, and then bang, it's cancelled again. And we got news today that the 70.3 World Championships in Taupo is being cancelled until 2022. So my heart goes out to all those people that were looking forward to that happening at some point. But I think that's one thing that's made me be a motivated athlete, and that's a massive thing to do. And then the other thing is just having breaks along my career. And that's why I'm having another one at the moment. Just having short breaks. I can't have long ones at the moment, because if I do, then I tend to get injured. So it's more about trying to tick the body over, not lose too much endurance, and just it's the odd run. I did a swim this morning in a just a 50-minute run after that, just to keep something there, because I know if I have 4 weeks off total rest, then bang, I'll go out for my first run and I'll ping a calf, and then I'll be out for 6 weeks. So maintenance is through this period is a little bit crucial for my age at 48. But it's significant now as I get aged, just to do a lot more sort of more rest. I have to have longer times between my hard sessions. That's been crucial as well. So I can't keep going, day after day like I did when I was in my 20s. Those tempo and hard sets, more 72 hours separation rather than 48 hours. So that's a crucial part, just more separation in those hard training efforts.
And I think you actually probably just answered a bit of my question there. And I just wanted that, age and wisdom and knowledge is probably what helps you nowadays, is it? By sounding that, obviously you just don't thrash at it like you did maybe in your younger years. And the importance of actually now understanding and knowing your body. You just listed all those things then, that how you're thinking about how you'll ping a calf and all those sort of things. How long has it taken you to really understand your body and to be able to draw from that knowledge?
I think the last sort of 20 years, I've been pretty good at, knowing what I can handle. I know, my red line, where if I go over that, then, hey, I'm going to either get sick or get injured. So I was very, very lucky throughout my early career. I was never really injured, probably until I was sort of in my mid-30s, and then sort of little calf issues and plantar fascia issues sort of started to come into play. So, I'm very much aware of those things now, and I know I do have to take care of that. Otherwise, I will get injured. So, as I said, having time off and just having more time between those sessions is crucial as an older athlete as well.
Do you think you're a better athlete because you're making sure those sessions, those hard sessions, are good sessions, opposed to those like just thrashing yourself that you did probably back in the old days? Or was that actually about building an engine back in the old days, and you kind of had to do that to get to where you are now? I
think I've always been a person that I train to a limit that I know I can recover from. I'll go to the track, and if I do a session, then I'll leave that track knowing, hey, I could have done, one more kilometre, one more 800, but I didn't. I left it at that, and so I'm good enough to go the next day. Whereas some athletes, they'll just go and thrash a session, and then they'll be recovering for 3 days. So I think over my time, I've been more of a consistent athlete, and that's helped with my longevity in the sport. I've been able to stay in the sport, and be competitive still at 48 years of age. And I want to try and do that until I'm 50, and give those young boys a bit of a, try and keep up with them as long as I can, because I still love the sport, and that's the main thing. If I didn't enjoy the sport, I wouldn't be able to push myself as much as I do.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do outside of swimming and biking and running to keep yourself in one piece, like off the bikes and mobility, massage, strength and conditioning? What do you do there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, in the gym, much more than what I ever used to be, and the Normatec boots, for recovery after sessions, and massage is a massive part of you need that sort of flushing out of all those little knots that occur when you're trying to push yourself. There's mornings. Most mornings I'll wake up and I'll be walking a little bit funny, and because the body is aging, and but the recovery is pretty much the thing that will stop me if I don't look after it. So and stretching is a key part of that as well, and being a flexible athlete is a must for us athletes at that older age. So if you, I mean, I always think of it as, triathlon is greater than the sum of its parts. I mean, it's just not about swim, bike, and run. It's all those little things that involve nutrition and stretching and being, first in the pool, last out, and being smart about your training and recovering well. So it's finer than just 3 disciplines. It's much, much more than that.
Now, I'm just going to sidetrack here a little bit, just because something what you said there. Now, you mentioned through your recovery process and things, the recovery boots, and we won't mention brands because we're not trying to be the sponsor out here, but is there, you see a lot of these products, and sometimes you do wonder, is there actually any benefit to them? Do they work? Do they not work? Tell me about those recovery boots, because I've always been interested personally. Is there something in those?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't waste my time, doing it if it didn't work, So, I always recommend massage, because that's a thing that, I think you need that flushing out, and you need, someone to get those. I always have tight spots in me, but, it's another thing that you can add to your program. And a lot of people, don't have the time. So, those boots are brilliant for that. When you're time poor, I can sit in front of the computer and just tap away and be in the boots, whether it be, have my arms in them or have my legs in them. So, and especially after, those long days, it just helps that recovery a little bit faster, so I can get out and train.
Nice. So Cam, in regards to your training, so I've just mentioned that strength training. Like, how many times are you in the gym? Is there any specific stuff you're doing on a regular basis in the gym?
I mean, a lot of squats, a lot of lunges, implement from going from upper body to lower body all the time. And, I'm not in there for an hour and a half. I'm in there for, 45 minutes to maximum an hour. It's, done and dusted. It's not mucking around at all. It's just going from apparatus to the next apparatus and doing it well and doing it efficiently. And I think it's, helped me stabilize myself over those times, because, everyone has little bits that fall apart over time and little strengths that they need to work on. So, definitely it is a key component of, as an older athlete, you need to implement.
Yep. So a couple of times a week, 2, 3. What do you?
Yeah. I mean, through the next 6 weeks, when I'm back into, I'll be getting to probably 3 times a week. Just to, it's a long way off until we can work on those weaknesses at the moment. So I can really try and put on a good effort. Whereas a lot of times, you've got major races coming up and you can't put too much time in, because you're trying to swim, bike, and run as much as possible.
Yeah, nice. And right at the start, we flashed up a picture that of you running, and that's been like it's a real key for you in terms of the races that you have won. Is that you can really trust that run, that you're just going to lock it in, and you don't look any different at the end of the run that you did at the start. What are some key kind of running tips that or key things that you focus on in regards to holding that posture and holding that cadence and as you're running?
Oh, I think I'm surrounded by hills. Everywhere I run, there's a hill involved. So I think running hills is a great component of making your run strong, concentrating on your form. I've done a lot of hill repeats over my time, and I think it's one thing that has really benefited. I did a post a while ago of my run form, which was just pretty shocking as a 18, 19-year-old. I was all over the place, and I was never a fast runner when I was, in my when I was 17, 18, 19. It was never my strength. It is my strength now. But I think Ironman 8-hour races is that endurance. I didn't have that real speed that guys like Hamish Carter and Bevan Doherty had. I was more a raw strength athlete. With over time, I could really benefit from my run form. Just a lot of tempo work, a lot of running off the bike. People fall out of that metrodrome sort of type form, and I'd run off the bike twice a week for every single year for 34 years. So it's come a lot of time, a lot of effort, But and a lot of drills when I was a young athlete. My old coach Jack Ralston used to get us doing a lot of run drills, and that really, I think, helped my form. I don't do them anymore, but they are a great benefit to athletes if they really want to focus on because it's got to be relaxed, and it's got to be. You see a lot of people tense up when they run, but I try and think of myself thinking like I'm a Kenyan runner. Nice relaxed shoulders, and you still need that momentum through the arms and that, but you need to run relaxed and not because everything tenses up if you do try and run with too much sort of effort. And I think running relaxed is a key component to running strong.
And is there one of those things towards the end of the Ironman, it's just thinking about rhythm and staying relaxed when you're really pushing and going deep?
Yeah, I think everyone falls apart in that last 2K. Probably this year was one of my most shocking runs. I sort of fell apart with about 5K to go, and I'd only done a sort of 5-week build-up because I'd come off a calf injury from Ironman WA in December, and was out for sort of 7 weeks of no running. So I was still pretty proud of my run, but the last 5K was just pretty brutal, and didn't enjoy it one bit. So it was very nasty, and normally if you can control that run form, and you're going to just run more positively and in a straight line to that finish line.
Yeah, awesome. And how do you go just in terms of like you've been a pro athlete? Well, it's kind of what you've done, isn't it? How did you get to be a pro athlete? What's it, sorry?
I've never had a job in my life, so it's been
well, it is a job.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I guess any tips for others that are looking to kind of follow in your footsteps down that line, because it's a pretty amazing thing that you've done. And then also, how have you balanced life and family, those other things around that as well?
Yeah, I think just consistency in your training. It's one thing that has been my strength. I think that day in day out approach, and I think if you can have that and be focused every day, it's a massive commitment. And I was never the most talented athlete. I think I had just a sheer determination to try and see if I could do this, and it never stopped. So I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and always trying to improve every year. So and I had a good team around me, good coaches, and I think that's key. Knowing what you're trying to do and achieve, and knowing the training is right, and if you can knowing that you're going to get a good outcome is a good positive from that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And going forward from here, what are the work-ons that you're trying to do? Like, obviously, you mentioned about, hey, I want to try and see if I can still ruffle a few feathers when I'm 50. But what are the work like? And you've also mentioned about goals, and I'm trying to get to that next event. But what are the little things that you're trying to work on to develop your performance to be better? Because it's about mastery, isn't it? It's about your own performance first.
Yeah, I think for me, it's making sure I'm going to be injury free and working on a plan that I'm going to get back in the gym ASAP after I've had this rest, and just really get strong. I think one of the key components is a strong core, and if you have a strong core, then that's going to do wonders on the bike. We sit bent over for 180 kilometers. So if you don't have a strong core and strong back, then you're going to get off that bike and not be going to be able to run very well. So that has been one thing that is, and it shows in my run form that I do have a good core, and I've worked on that over the years. So that's one thing that I always continue to work on. Just different goals, just trying to improve again. And I'll be working with Gordon Walker, my coach for the last year. And I was South coach for 10 years, and just need a new focus. So that's been good to work with someone again, and he makes me push myself again. It's I have to be careful, not to go overboard, but it's also nice to have someone looking after the program and saying, hey, right, you're going to do this today, and it makes me accountable as well, and makes me go out and work hard.
Perfect.
Now, Kate Russell's been viewing from home there and watching this, and she's been firing in all sorts of questions for you. A lot of them we've actually been rolling through and touching on anyway. Something we haven't talked about is a bit of nutrition. So I'll pull this one from Kate. And Kate asks, what fuel types does Cameron use during an event, and how many carbs per hour does he have? Cameron, have you got a base type go-to carb per hour that you work for?
Yeah, I pretty much know that I'm going to, I'll be having 10 to 12 gels on that bike ride. And then, that's pretty much, 3 to 4 every hour. I'm out there for sort of 4.5 hours on that bike ride for 180 kilometers. And but then, I'll not only be having that, I'll be having, 1 or 2 bananas, and the odd protein bar as well. And then, it's electrolytes as well. So I couldn't count how many calories it is. It's a lot. And because I am working at such a high level, the pros out there, we're borderline. It's such a hard race now that you are going as fast as you possibly can for that entire race. So you are using a huge amount of energy, and so you're putting in a lot as well. So normally I'll probably go through sort of 5 to 6 bottles on the bike as well, and then once I get off that bike, it's pretty much 4 gels on the run, and then Coke and water throughout the entire run, and the odd electrolyte as well during that run. So I don't miss any aid stations on that run. So most aid stations are 1,500 meters to sometimes 2K apart. So it's a lot of aid stations as well. So it's just continually supplying my body with that nutrition it needs. But that's what, for me, I need, and everyone is totally different. So what I have may not be any use to someone else who is going at 12 hours or 14 hours. It depends on our body type and our and a lot of people can't have 12 gels in their stomach. I can stomach that. Some people need whole foods, and they cannot stomach a sweet gel. So I've worked on that, and it's worked for many years, and so that's what people need. And I think that's what, when we race a lot, and I think people don't race enough nowadays. So if they race and then they get used to, they know what they need to consume, and it's trial and error for a few times. But once you get that perfect result, and no stomach cramps or no visit to the toilet stops on the run, then you have that formula. But that's what's unique about our sport. I can't give you what works for me might not work for anyone else.
Yep. Do you have trouble remembering? Do you have to run an alarm system or something to make sure that you are hitting that next gel? And that, like, it's, I guess, pretty easy sometimes when you're deep in the box to actually forget about, or to be mentally blocked about all that. So do you use some sort of reminder?
I think I used to in the old days, but I think it's so ingrained in me now that it just comes naturally. And I just know that, it just, I don't know, it's a trigger in me that, I continue. But, it can easily pass where 20, 30 minutes can go, and oh, shoot, I need to have a gel. So, and when you get into that race mode and you're trying to chase someone down, and, it might be another 5 minutes of just being in your air bars and not trying to, because you're on the rivet so much that you're trying to chase that guy, that you cannot have a gel at that stage. So it is, you've got to be careful out there, because mistakes can happen, and it might not be that point where you feel it, but it may be 5-10K into the run where, you might be seeing a few stars.
And I must ask, I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they were busy doing some research is what I was doing. And anyway, they, through the pro athletes that they have on, they have a little section in there, Cam, and they like to ask them a failing, an event or something that they've done that they've made an absolute monumental cock up of it, or something that they've done specifically wrong. Is there anything that comes to mind throughout your racing that one day you just made an absolute cock of it all?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I can't think of one at the moment, but there've been lots and lots. Leading into Hawaii Ironman, I had many times where I was in the great shape, and then I was, the night before, I'd be walking down to have a swim with the kids, and I got stung by a bee, and my back went to the size of I had a massive. I'm allergic to bee stings, so I ended up 50K into the bike ride. I couldn't pedal ended up, I think, not finishing that year because I was just my back spasmed, and that was it. So getting sick and then that, many times, and you'd go from a New Zealand winter up to Hawaii, and you'd get sick. So there's been many mistakes over that time, and but that's part of being an athlete. You have those ups and downs, and it's how you cope with them, and I think that's you continually try and improve them, but sometimes things are out of your hands that you think you're pretty much sussed and going to have a great race, but things fall apart.
And well done for you, Cam. Like, you're continually putting yourself out there, aren't you? When you stand on the start line and go, right, I'm just going to push go and see what happens. And you can be in the best shape of your life, but other stuff can happen that means you don't finish as well as I want to, and it's tough. But as you mentioned before, hey, people need to race more and give yourself more opportunities and learn about it and challenge yourself, rather than sort of going, oh, I'm in great shape, but I'll wait till then because that's my key race. Actually, just go and enjoy the racing and see how good you can actually go.
Yeah, I think nothing is harder than racing, and I can do the hardest session I ever done in my life training, but it just doesn't compare to what you can do in race mode. And I think once we do, we train for a race and then we taper, and the body is rested rather than tired going into it. You just lift yourself that much more when you're tapered and rested for a race. So it is something that I think people just don't do enough of nowadays, and I think that's one thing that you can really, hopefully people will do this summer, because they cannot go overseas to race, and so they're forced to race at home and hopefully just enjoy some more racing on on the New Zealand circuit.
Good stuff, Cam. So we're going to just wrap this up with a quick fire question. So the first one is, would you prefer to have a fancy restaurant type meal or a backcountry meal sitting in a hut?
I like big meals, so a nice backcountry meal, thanks. Yep. A 20 meal. It's a McDonald's trip afterwards on the way home otherwise.
Run or bike, what would you go for?
Run. Love a trail run. Yep.
Perfect. Morning training, morning or evening?
Morning. I got to get up early and get it out of the way, and and then the day's done. Yep.
Lake or sea? Swimming in the lake or sea?
Well, if there's surf out there, then I love a body surf afterwards. So, but if it's pretty, but enjoy lake swim. Lake Taupo is pretty special as well. So it's 50-50.
Yeah, nice. And sweet or savoury?
Sweet. Yeah, love my chocolate. Piece of chocolate every night doesn't hurt you.
Good job, Cam.
Brilliant. Well, Cam, thank you very much for giving up your Wednesday night for us, giving us some time. Hopefully everybody out there has just enjoyed the insights to Cam Brown, who is an absolute legend of the world. You've done so much, been around so long, and we're looking forward to you being around for a lot longer yet.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Hopefully we'll be racing over the summer and stay fit and healthy. And everyone, a big hello to you out there. And good luck with the training, and we'll see you at the race day soon.
Good job. Well done, Cam. Give it heaps, and we'll look forward to cheering you off.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cam.
Well done.
Bye.
That's pretty cool that, potentially, like we talked about at the start of that, there's some local events are going to get some of New Zealand's finest athletes. And if you're looking to do one of those events, you're going to be shoulder to shoulder with them on the start line.
And that's the beauty of these races, isn't it? You actually get to stand and race with the pros, with those guys that do it for a living, which is pretty awesome.
That's right. You can say, I raced with. It might have only been for the first 10 seconds off the start line, but you still raced with, right?
Absolutely. And with Cam doing so well, and there's hope for us yet, Angus.
I think we're only just coming into our prime, Rich. I really do. I firmly believe that. Now, Kate Russell, if you're still watching, still listening out there, head over to the Team CP Facebook page, click the message, send us a little private message there to say, I'm Kate Russell and I am a winner, and we'll get some sponsored product out to you. Look at that, free coffee for you. How's that? Bloody great.
Yep, absolutely. So speaking of free coffee, should we talk to Amanda?
Go on then. What do you reckon?
Amanda, is she there?
Hey.
Hey, Amanda. As you mentioned in the before we come on air, you've been sidestepping these Team CP media videos for a number of years, but we've finally managed to nail you down.
Yeah, it's actually nice, I think, not being covered in sweat and gasping for air with an interview with you, Richard, for once. Normally I'm just like, no, just let me be. So it's nice, not sweaty, not breathing. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And talking about sweating and breathing and all the different things you've achieved, what are the sort of couple of key races you've done and events you've done sort of over the past couple of years? Because you've really got into the swing of it, haven't you?
I don't know if into the swing of it. Yeah, so did my first half Ironman in 2017, and it was my first race ever, really. It was my first half marathon. It was my first bike ride. I think it was my second ocean swim back then. So that really started everything off, someone telling me that I couldn't do it. And I was like, no, we'll see how that goes. And then from there, I just fell in love with triathlon. Didn't really stick to one because why do one when you can do three, really? So yeah, I've been doing that the last 3 years, and now this year I raced coast to coast the bike legs for Further Faster. Got pulled into that last minute.
Did okay as well, I think.
Yeah, we got second mixed team, I think. So, well, it wasn't bad considering I think the Tuesday before I was doing a learn how to bunch ride with you, Richard. Was it there? So
right, you go this way. You pull your bike.
Absolutely.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so from there I think I knew as soon as I crossed that finish line and knew right in that I'd end up doing coast to coast alone one day, and no time like the present. So that's where we are.
Throw yourself out there, learning to paddle.
You've got the entry in.
Yeah, got it in the day it opened. Didn't want to miss out. So signed up. Full steam ahead.
No going back. Can't get out of it now.
No.
So you talked about no, you can't. We'll just keep moving on before you can make a comment there. So yeah, the running is going to be pretty handy because you go pretty well there, and then the biking. Hey, you've done that this past year, but what about the paddling? How are you getting on there? Learning a total new sport.
Probably depends who you ask. If Bruce is listening, no, yeah. So paddling doesn't come naturally to me. I don't know if it comes naturally to anyone out there, but I'm used to definitely being in the water, not trying not to swim in it. So yeah, it's been a massive challenge for me, and it's still ongoing, but I think it's 204 days, and I need probably every single one of them. But yeah, no, it's a great challenge, and like I do this because I want to see, what I can do, what I can learn. So yeah, why not do 4 sports? So.
And the benefit is, like, it's getting warmer now. It's going to get warmer, so the water's going to improve as well, isn't it? So you're not going to worry about falling out so much, and that's going to help.
That sounds like someone coming from that doesn't fall out of their boat that often, Richard, because I can tell you that Waimac's still pretty cold right now.
The meaning of it, isn't it? Cold running water or something like that? It's named like that for a reason.
Yeah, no, but I'm definitely looking forward. I knew going into this, especially losing 4 weeks from lockdown, that I was going to need every single winter day as well. So prepared, I've gone out there in a wetsuit some days just to get it done. So it's good.
Perfect. Awesome, Amanda. So you're also you're sort of the person behind that's helped us with like these coffee vouchers and supporting our team. And we've got a bit of a challenge going on at the moment, which is Your Local. So one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you tonight as well, and which is you're kind of like the Sunday group ride leave from Coffee Culture and frequent the Beckenham Coffee Culture, and you run the Tour de Coffee Culture, which is a massive event that happens. Can you go around and visit all of those cafes across the course of February, March? Yeah. And the Your Local challenge was basically about what's your local. Let's have an adventure to your local. Sit down, put your feet up, and enjoy a coffee, a beer, whatever your beverage is. So I want to ask you, what's your challenge? How are you going to join into this challenge that we've got going on? It started last weekend and this weekend as well.
Oh, I feel like I'm pretty committed to going to a coffee culture. All of our stores are, locally owned and that kind of thing, so I should probably go support them. But I think there was a couple of missions within the mission, wasn't there? Like how
That's
much elevation, how much
100%.
distance. So I was like, is anyone from the tour to Coffee Culture out there going to ride to Coffee Culture Timaru to get the distance? There's bound to be a crazy out there. We've seen people do it in alphabetical order, so I'm like, I'm just waiting for it. Also Littleton for elevation. Are they the two extra prizes? But
so what are you going to do? What, like, it's the mission to get there, to then put your feet up. So what are you going to do? What have you got lined up for your? Have you got anything lined up for your mission, or do we actually ask a viewer and maybe they can tell us what your mission might be? So quick, what have you got? Someone
can set me a mission if they want. Maybe I should kayak to it.
Right, there we go. Okay, you've got a kayak to your 100%. That's what's going to happen. We want a picture of you in your boat, and then put your feet up, having your feet up at the end of it.
Done. What have I got till Sunday?
Monday, actually. I'll give you an extra day.
So kind.
It's like daylight savings, isn't it? It's just that little bit extra.
Yeah, I'll need it.
Yeah, brilliant. So mission over the weekend, and then to finish up, what are you most looking forward to for the summer ahead, and once sort of spring rolls around and the days start getting longer?
Oh, I'm looking forward to having nice hot days to kayak in, but hopefully by then I won't be falling potentially out as much. Fingers crossed. So maybe I want to tip out more then. But yeah, those longer days, the extra hours, definitely. But of course, my biggest goal is to get across that finish line come February for Coast to Coast. So that's what the aim will be.
Perfect. Good job. So little steps. Start off with a challenge this weekend. Get down the Waimak, and we'll look forward to cheering you across that line and enjoying an awesome summer of adventures ahead.
Thanks. Looking forward to my interview afterwards.
I can't actually tell you who actually sent this in, because they probably were just about ready to deserve a coffee voucher there for this comment. But I think the challenge here is summer to Littleton in a kayak, and you can probably have a coffee at each end of that. You can have one to start and one to finish.
Gosh, I might need a couple of safety kayaks with me if anyone wants to put their hand up there.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have to work on that one for the weekend. Well done, Amanda.
Cool.
Good stuff. And I also like the fact that you've said that you were going to allow me to interview you at the end of the Coast to Coast as well. So you've accidentally slipped that one in as well. So
I guess it's been recorded. There's no going back now. So
yeah, good stuff. Well, keep up the good work. Love your work. Thanks for all your support with Coffee Culture. And
thank you guys.
Yep.
Cheers.
From all of us, from all the athletes, thank you so much for the vouchers, the kindness, the allowing the car parks, all of those sort of things. And all the best. And we look forward to following you.
Yeah, well, keep tagging at Coffee Culture in your things as well, because I know there's a lot of Team CP people out there, because I see the cups, I see the Dayton orange scones, and I'm like, yep, that's us.
That's 100%. There you go, people out there listening. Tag them in, tag a good supporter, a good sponsor, and help us help you.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Take care. Nice work. Might need to get the boat out for the weekend, Angus.
Well, I sold mine. Clever as that may sound, actually.
Yeah.
And I do know that you've got a whole heap hanging on the wall out there, but
you probably could lend you one. Yeah, but it might be an IRB would be better, wouldn't it? Around the heads.
Yeah. Do they have e-kayaks nowadays? Is that a thing?
They do. Yeah, just being towed, something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, it'd be better than swimming anyway.
Yeah, correct.
Yep, nice work. Right. So, Cushla Holdaway, is she sitting in the background there?
Well, would you know? Would you believe it? Would you believe it? She is back.
Hello. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It has. We've missed you.
I'm all out of whack now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Awesome, Cushla. You've been pretty busy, though, with a whole bunch of clients in regards to your nutrition. What's one of the key things that's sort of top of mind, things that you've been thinking about, discussing with them recently?
Yeah, well, quite a few coast-to-coast athletes in there as well. So it's just laying down those foundations and getting those basics sorted now, because it's only really 7 months away. And you can't build a house on a bad foundation. So that's sort of what I was going to talk about tonight.
Right, nice. Yeah, so a lot of those key events are around that February, March sort of time, aren't they? Even if it's November, it's sort of that early summertime. So so now, although, hey, we think about hibernation often during winter, don't we? And actually just doing whatever we like, and then springtime comes around, it's like, oh, I need to sort myself out. But actually now's a really important time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's a good time because your training's probably not really hard at the moment. It's probably just starting to build up. So it's a good time to actually put some of the focus onto those other aspects that are really important. So I was going to use a big analogy tonight about leading up to specifically like the coast to coast is like building your house. And in terms of what now is July, that would be a similar time frame as well. So around now is when you'd be laying down that foundation, and that is a key part of the house. You can't build a house without a good foundation. You want to think about the whole section you're building the house on as your life and your environment. And there will be specific barriers that may dictate some of the build of the house, and things that will pop up that you can't control in that process as well. So in terms of foundation, it needs to be strong enough that you can build a good house on. So what does that foundation include? Well, I've had I sat down and had a bit of a think about what that actually looks like. And the first thing I talk to people about as well is like sleep. So looking at the quality of sleep, the quantity, their sleep-wake cycles, and what their bedtime routine looks like as well. And that is a key part of recovery and bouncing back from training sessions and just general health. We can't function with very little sleep. We feel awful, and it actually really affects our nutrition as well. Something we are all guilty of, and we're all doing it right now because we're looking at screens, is before bed we are looking at blue light, unless you're wearing blue light glasses, Angus.
No, but I have heard somebody talking about them the other day, to be fair.
Yeah, and we're often looking at our phones or iPad or something before bed, and it really interferes with melatonin, which affects basically our body's sleep regime. It's sending our body the wrong messages. Yeah. So as a general rule, try and avoid blue light like 90 minutes before bed, but I do understand that's not always realistic. So I'd say 30 minutes is a good start, like trying to read a book or something instead. Another part of the foundation is stress and how you cope with stress and I guess your coping mechanisms, because as your training builds and juggling life and everything else becomes a bit harder, you need to cope with some of that stress management well. Your support circle is really important. So your family, your friends, maybe having a good group of training buddies, Team CP friends that you can go off and do adventures with. That's really important leading up to the event as well. Good time management falls into the foundation, being organised, planning ahead, trying to suss out what each week looks like and adjusting your training around that as well, because there'll be other things you have to balance amongst that.
And that's super key, isn't it? Because that's that whole, how's the week going to go? If I know what I'm going to do, when am I going to eat, like we'll get my meals organised, what time I'm going to get to bed, everything flows from sort of that Sunday night planning session or having a diary a few weeks in advance.
It absolutely does. And in terms of nutrition too, like actually tonight I've been sitting down planning out, grocery shop meals for the next sort of week. And I do that every week because I can't imagine going to the supermarket with no plan of what we're doing. Like I would find that really hard, but I know people do. And I don't know how they do it. Yeah.
It seems a bit boring, but it's actually super important. It actually ends up with less stress at the end of the day, doesn't it? Because you know what you're going to have.
And I love it because I'm always trying different recipes and anyway. So with nutrition, I mean, that's a whole other part of this chat, but the foundation, I would say consistent nutrition. So trying to have regular meals, fueling well before meals, looking a bit at what your recovery nutrition looks like, and I guess just eating appropriately for your level of training. But that's like a whole other part of this. That's almost like beyond the foundation, sort of building upon that, isn't it? I'll get to that but definitely important to just be eating properly. And again, just work-life balance, so managing your job, your family, actually having some time to chill out and rest as well. That's really important. Another really important part of the foundation is your mental well-being, and a lot of those concepts I've already mentioned will probably help with mental well-being, but I think that's important to always consider in there as well. And lastly, just making sure if you've got any underlying injuries or health conditions that they're well managed or sorted before you actually start to ramp up your training as well.
Yeah. So I'm healthy. Yeah, because you're not good to anybody if you're not looking after yourself.
No.
Yep.
So I guess that builds your foundation, and then that's solid. And then you want to think about the framework as the training. So that's a really crucial part. I think Coast to Coast is definitely a race where you can't just rock up, especially like the longest day, and just go for it. You need your training in there. And that framework would also include people like, the Team CP coaches, because that's a really crucial part of getting ready for race day as well. And then finally, a house isn't complete without the roof, and I'm going to call the roof the nutrition part. Your everyday nutrition, your training nutrition, it's all so crucial to how you respond to your training load and how you will go in your lead up to the race, and obviously on race day too. So I do think nutrition deserves the roof there.
You've done very well there.
Yeah, I guess the finishing touches is like the interior design, all those little details and tweaks that you do along the way. And ultimately you have an awesome house. It's sound, it's solid, and you want to think of that as the athlete come race day, and you'll just get to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So build that foundation, get the training built on top of that foundation, get the nutrition sorted, and how you're doing that, how you're recovering, etc. And then you're going to go well. So basically, at the end of the day, your key point was, let's start about looking at that foundation now, so then you can build upon that when you need to, when you start ramping things up a bit more.
Yeah. So I reckon about now to the end of August is foundation time. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And for whatever summer event you've got coming up, be it an ultra, be it a Ironman, be it a big bike race, be it a multi-sport event, whatever that may be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good job. Well done, Cushla. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for upskilling us and giving us something else to think about.
Cool. Yeah. No worries. It was good. Yeah.
Good job. Well done.
Cool.
Nice week. Okay. Hopefully we'll see you again. Well done, Cushla. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good job. Job done. So wrapping up, Cameron Brown, lots of awesome stuff in terms of keeping your body together, all about sort of mental skills and having a goal. That was a big part of what he was about, wasn't he? Amanda getting out there, doing a whole bunch of adventures, pushing herself, trying something new, and then Cushla looking at, okay, well, how do I actually build upon what I've got now to go and have an awesome time during the summer?
Yep, absolute nailed it there, Rich. Good summary. Good.
Let's
just keep rolling, because we still just have a few things we want to touch on. Let's just touch on our local, this week's challenge, the Team CP challenge this week. We just talked about it before with Amanda, but just want to pull a couple up here that there's been a few people out there visiting their local, coaches included. Brett managed to find his local brewery.
Brett Layden, one of our team coaches. Yeah, I think he was the first off the rank, wasn't he? Getting out and about on the old cruiser bike.
He's got the old town bike out there cruising away for a pint. That was bloody good to see.
Yep.
Matt Stewart, he went for a ride, managed to find a nice little warm coffee on a cold looking day there.
Yeah, did you see his route that he took?
I did see his route that he took.
He lived just around the corner from the Fat Beagle Cafe in Darfield, and he went, it was about 50 Ks of a round trip to get to there. So that's exactly what we're after, isn't it?
Exactly. He took definitely took the long way around there, which was brilliant to see. Who else has been out and about, Rich? Hannah G, she's been out and about.
Yeah, she mentioned the chat from her teammate wasn't particularly good as a result of it.
Loyal. I bet the teammate would have run all the way to the end, I guarantee that.
Yeah, and enjoying the day out as well.
Exactly. And actually fresh hot off the press, this one comes to you straight from tonight's Wednesday night Zwift session.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Where I rode my bike to my local tonight, Richard. Rode the bike on the Team CP Wednesday night Zwift session. My local just happened to be my own fridge. Quite well done, I thought.
Yeah, well done. So you put a fair bit of effort in. I could see there's a bit of sweat and toil going on there as well. So just on those Zwift sessions, actually, that's something, if you've got Zwift and you're keen on that, feel free to join us. Just jump onto our website and book in via our cycle group sessions, and you can join those, and we'll flick you the links, etc., to get involved.
Yep. Now, finally, tonight, to finish on, a couple of weeks ago, I threw up a little funny video, a little blooper video.
Oh, no. You need to do this?
In the show, and I have actually acquired some more comedy gold.
Okay.
And tonight's one comes to you fresh from Sunday's local cyclocross race out at Ferrymead.
Right, which you're part of the committee. You're a keen cyclocross man.
I am. I'm an avid cyclocrosser. We had an absolute stunning day. 138 competitors, I think, over the 3 different grades there. It was absolute pure cross conditions. We had some of the best mud. There was a fair bit of running, which is always good in cross, to be off the bike, doing the rud, slopping the mud. But we did have a little bit of carnage along the way, and I just happened to be, as a good CP media person, on hand to capture a little moment. Now, we're not... we allow all sorts of bikes to run. We have mountain bikes. We have true cyclocross bikes. We have what we call tracklocross, so fixed gear bikes. So that's a real. Those boys have a real art to getting those things around as a fixed gear. But anyway, one of our famous things is tandem cross. So so we've been known to have 9 tandems at an event. We're trying to push the Hagley Park round this year as 10 tandems is what we're looking for. But tandems always seem to bring some action. And so I'd like to just roll the tape here.
Make sure you commentate on it as well, please, for those that are listening.
Well, I can, but I think it actually cuts out our sound here when I do this. So I'll give you a bit of background. This was a little slippery downhill left-hander off camber where many people mowed the grass. But these boys had completely stopped at the top and they said, Angus, we're going to ride this. We're going to ride this. And they got, as you will see, nearly there. The Rob, who just happened to be course designer, he was on the front and he managed to say, we're going to ride this. And then next minute.
Can you hear us at the same time?
I actually might be able to. Here we go. Look at that.
They were riding it until the last minute.
Synchronized
front wheel gone and hit the ground. Perfect. Love it.
Correct. Some synchronized and the walk of shame to end it on. So.
Brilliant. Good job. So, thank you for everyone that's involved. Thanks for your comments. As I mentioned before, Coffee Culture are super supporters of Team CP. So we've got some vouchers coming out for getting involved in our local. And also the other local business that we love to promote is Pure. So Pure is awesome. So as part of getting involved in that, they're getting behind our challenges as well. So look forward to getting out there and seeing what you can come up with this weekend. And maybe it's a little bit further from Zwift Bike to Kitchen Fridge, Angus. And
if you happen to know anybody that happens to know somebody who's in the recovery boots industry, I'm keen to try. Just saying, just FYI, just putting that out there. Look, thank you all for joining us once again. Tune in next Wednesday, same bat channel, same bat time. Catch this episode over on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and click the little bell to get all the notifications. And also, Richard, as always, up as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. But if you can't find them, head over to the Team CP website and click on the podcast link there.
100%. And we'll have it up before the weekend, the next day or two. And
Absolutely. As always, Richard, thank you very much for joining me. Can't wait to see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Yep, you too. Cheers, Angus.